Hello everybody, it's Andy here, and today it turns out, completely out of nowhere, they went ahead and FAQ'd a little bit of Kill Team, a little bit of Gallowfall. I think this is roughly at the right time, but they've only touched 2 datasheets. So, the rest of the game is perfect. Exaction Squad, Warp Coven, Wormblade, exactly where they want them to be, apparently. Cool. So anyway, they gave us a little buff, little nerf, whatever you want to call it, to Frenzy, to the Gallowfall teams. Let's have a quick chat about them. Up here, of course, I'm covering the Hearthkyn salvages first, then going to take a look at what they did with Frenzy. Now, I suspect that I've titled this video something very aggressive, like, you know, Frenzy nerfed, something like that, because, you know, got to get those clicks, am I right? They have nerfed Frenzy, but it's not like, you know, like, they haven't changed how it works. They've just changed how it scores, which is definitively a nerf. Anyway, before we jump into it, I would like to say that if you're a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to give you a big double hello. Wow, isn't that wholesome? Everybody loves a good old-fashioned double hello. A pleasantry given to you twice is definitely better than a pleasantry given to you once, which is all you non-subscribers have gotten. But hey, if you want it, just subscribe right now, leave a like, a comment, all that good stuff. Also, if you really love what I'm doing here for that sweet Kill Team 40k Shadowpoint content, consider checking out my Patreon, my Discord, etc., all that good stuff. Okay, let's jump into it. So first up, we have the Hearthkyn Salvager change. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Right, so the Lugger, in case you're unaware, has a very interesting ability that we haven't seen before. It's called Re-Equip. You are allowed to change what something is equipped with in the game. And the example that they give inside the Gallowfall book itself is specifically to do with how you can equip your leader, which is fine. I think nobody cares about that wording. Everybody wants to know, can I take like 3 plasma guns? The answer is no. So when reselecting weapon options, what are the restrictions? Answer, select as if it were select a kill team instead of the mission sequence. For a gunner operative, you can't select a weapon you've already selected for the battle, even if the gunner operative that has it has been incapacitated. Great FAQ. That definition was needed because sure enough, I personally was on the side of, if you've taken whatever your heavy gunner is, you cannot re-equip immediately another gunner. It has to be a legal pick. But here they've said, even if that gunner dies, it was still taken into the battle, so you cannot re-equip another gunner with the dead gunner's option. That's good. If the friendly Hearthkyn Salvager operative had the auto-calibrator equipment on their original weapon, what happens to it? They no longer have that equipment, even if they return to their original weapon with a subsequent re-equip action. So obviously this is just stopping you from like giving legal equipment that then would become illegal if you swapped a weapon with this unique ability. Cool. We then get to the gunner. So this is the beam critical hit rule. Let's make sure you can actually see that. Yes, you can. What a delight. So this is an interesting one. I'm just going to read it. Luckily, in the one battle I've played of this, this was played correctly. So, well done me, my opponent, Ryan from Turning Point Tactics there. Let's read it. So, for the gunner operative's beam critical hit rule, when determining operatives along the beam line, is it operatives before the original target, after, or both? Both. See the diagram below. Are mortal wounds inflicted on the original target? No. Oh, I think we might have played that one. Never mind. And when inflicting mortal wounds, do you roll D3 for each operative separately? Yes. Cool. So this is good to know. A lot of people thought that you draw your cover line, or your beam line, but along a cover line, and then it stops when it hits your target, because that's what a cover line does. But a beam line is not a cover line. It's just drawn in the same way, but it also extends. It was definitely open for a liberal interpretation, but good that they've cleaned it up. I don't think there's any way to mistake this now. A beam line is a beam line is a beam line. Excellent. Okay, which then takes us over to, that's it for them. So let's discuss, if I can open it on my phone, Frenzy. Now they've changed, okay, so let's take a look at the Fellgor Ravagers, okay? Frenzy, for those of you that don't know, is an ability that a lot of people find to be quite challenging to deal with. and certainly it's a very hard counter to certain teams. The real issue with Frenzy is not that you do not die, because there are ways to kill those operative. It's that you can Frenzy abuse. So what this means is that you do something unintentional. I suspect that when it comes to the Frenzy ability, when it was written and play tested, they played how a normal, sane person would play. And that is, you set up charges, and you charge, and you hit stuff. Cool, awesome. However, competitive players aren't sane, normal people. They abuse rules. And what that means is that they will set up charges, charge, and then not fight. And that is the real issue when it comes to the Frenzy team. Might as well just call them the Frenzy team. Sorry, the Fellgor team. When you do not perform when your whole team is set up to be a melee exclusive team, and your most effective tactic is to not fight in melee on your turn, that's when you get Frenzy abuse. Cool, so, right, let's read how they've changed that. To clarify, they probably need to write that into the wording, right? They have to put something like, you can only charge if you can also attack, or something like that, or some form of you must attack, because that's when you get the abuse of the rule. That's when you get, it's not just range teams that can't deal with Fellgors, it's also melee heavy teams, because you're going to get charge bot. Anyway, cool, you get it, you understand what I'm saying. So, your opponent treats a Fellgor Ravager operative as being incapacitated when it gains a Frenzy token for the following purposes: scoring VPs from attack ops that require enemy operatives to be incapacitated, gaining pain tokens and blooded tokens, completing performances of allegories. So this is obviously mainly a fix in the way that it is scored when it goes into the Seek and Destroy critical ops secondary attack ops, which is good that they clarified it, because sure enough, as it was worded raw, like pretty inarguably, you did not get to score any of that, because it says instead of being incapacitated, X happens. Very similar to the medic wording. Then we scroll on down to the Flux Spray. Let's have a read, shall we? Because I actually haven't read this one yet. Right. Can the Flux Spray operative perform the Cleaver Flurry... Oh, okay, no, I know what this is. All right. Perform the Cleaver Flurry action while within engagement range of an enemy operative? No. Whilst it can move within engagement range during the action, it cannot start the action there as per the requirements of a normal move action. Right, I didn't know what this was. I thought this was going to be something else. A lot of people had questioned with Flux Spray, if you move along your normal move line, does it hit every model or does it only hit one model? In the wording, it was incredibly clear to me, but a lot of people did like to have a good debate, because we are all master debaters online. This is interesting. This is something I hadn't considered that you could do. Again, good that they've cleared it up. Even gooder, more interesting, I don't know, that they have decided that this was on that list of things that had to be cleaned up day one. I'm just going to quickly go back and make sure, have they updated anything else? Because this seems like they have more to say, and I'm just going to check it live on the air, because this is something that is obviously very critical, and I cannot... No, that's it. Okay, I'm going to have to go and check. I mean, this is the FAQ, and normally they do indeed do the FAQ differently to when they do the balance patch. Let's have a look. Can we find the balance patch? Have they done it? No. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, good to know, I suppose. Good to know. I mean, hey, good that they've got on an FAQ out there quick as they can, only 2 months after it released, which is cool. Instead of the standard 3 months, I suppose. Yeah. Wow. Okay, well, you know what? Cool. I guess that any other changes in like regards to power level of these teams is going to be coming in the balanced data slate, which maybe will be next month. I'd have to check that. Chaps, leave a comment. When is that balanced data slate coming? Because we need it. Am I right? Nah, probably not. Kill team's fine. It doesn't matter. It's cool. It's a pretty fun game. It's pretty balanced. I personally am thinking of playing a bit more of it. Crazy, I realise. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Wow, wasn't that exceptionally wholesome? Everybody, stay hydrated. And while you're staying hydrated, consider checking out every other video on my channel. Every single one is pure gold. I'm not even joking. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a very odd FAQ update. I mean, okay, right, sure. We'll take it. We'll take it. Stay safe, everyone.